Hey everybody, my name's Eric and I want to read you a story. Today I want to read you this story called The Wind and Peter by Alvin Tresselt. Story and pictures by Alvin Tresselt. Copyright 1948 by Oxford University Press, New York Inc., printed in USA. The Wind and Peter. "What makes my sailboat go?" asked Peter. "The wind," said his mother. "But I can't see it." "Nobody can see the wind," said his father. "You can only feel it and hear it." Peter decided the wind was his friend. In the spring, the wind was gentle and warm. When Peter walked in the fields, the wind played softly around him, and the tall grass and daisies swayed. In the fall, the wind was strong and noisy. Then the bright leaves fell, and the trees sighed. In the winter, the wind was quick and sharp. It pinched Peter's nose and pulled off his cap. When it rained, Peter watched the wind chase raindrops across the road. He lay in bed and listened to the wind sing softly outside his window. Peter liked the wind no matter how hard it blew, even when its song turned to a sharp whistle. One morning there was no wind. Peter looked out the window, but the curtains hung still. Where was the wind? He climbed the apple tree, but the leaves didn't stir. Where was the wind? He ran to the field, but the grass and daisies just stood in the hot sun. Where was the wind? He went to the pond where he sailed his boat, but the water was still. Where was the wind? He asked his mother, "Where is the wind?" She said, "Hiding behind a cloud, maybe?" He asked his father, "Where is the wind?" He said, "On the other side of the moon, maybe." He asked the cat, but she only purred. That night the wind didn't sing outside his window. The only sound was a mosquito's hum. The next day the sun came up, the sky was blue, and it was very hot. Peter's mother said, "If there were only a breeze." His father perspired and waved a newspaper in his face. The cat stretched out flat and didn't even purr. Peter said, "I will find the wind." He crossed the field to the forest. A gray squirrel scolded him from a rock. "Where is the wind?" said Peter. But the squirrel bobbed his tail and ran off. A bird flew over his head and screamed, "Teacher, teacher, teacher," and was gone before Peter could ask him. A big fat bullfrog sat in the mud and said, "Shrump." Peter asked, "Where is the wind?" But the frog jumped into the water with a splash. A rabbit hopped behind an old tree stump while Peter wasn't looking, so he didn't ask him. Suddenly it grew darker. There was no sunlight shining between the leaves. No birds sang, and the forest became still. There he heard a rustle in the leaves. Something cool passed his cheek. Peter had found the wind. The wind grew stronger, and the branches swayed. Peter ran home to tell his mother, but the wind got there before he did. It twisted the clothes on the line, it knocked a rocking chair off the porch, and banged a shutter back and forth. It blew all the apples out of the tree. It tossed the ash barrels over, and all the papers on a junk wagon went flying down the street. It tore up a window shade, upset a vase of flowers, and splashed the cat's milk all over. "Well, you found the wind all right," said Peter's mother as she cleaned up the milk. "I never did see such a wind," said his father as he raked up the apples. "But you can't see the wind," said Peter, and he ran off to the pond to sail his boat. That was The Wind and Peter by Alvin Tresselt, 1948, Oxford University Press, New York, Inc., printed in the USA. By Cadmu Books. Good night.